Hey, good morning. It's Dave. Wanted to share some thoughts on what type of exercise in particular, maybe even what type of cardiovascular exercise might be best for you. And I came across this Harvard study that I thought was pretty interesting and kind of fired me up a little bit. What it does, it goes through and it lists a bunch of activities and it tells how much a 125-pound person, 155-pound, 185-pound person, how many calories that they would burn during the duration of each of these different activities. And it goes through weightlifting and walking and rowing and CrossFit and all these different training modalities. I went into my Fitbit then and did my own calculations. I mean, it was real simple, and I don't know how accurate my Fitbit is, but I think it's at least interesting. So I took the number of calories burned by the number of minutes that I was doing it, and I came up with number of calories burned per minute of activity. And I went through and I did the same thing with this Harvard study, and I found them to be very similar. So I guess that's good. But a couple things. First of all, this study talked about 125, 155, and 185-pound people doing these activities. There's a lot of variance in there. 185 pounds isn't the same for 185 pounds. Okay, everybody's different. Everybody's exerting different energy levels. But in general, a leaner 150, 185, or 155 pound person is going to burn more calories per moment than a heavier, a less lean 155 or 185 pound person. The more muscle you carry, the more metabolic you're going to be, the more calories you're going to burn. Okay, let's start with that. So a leaner 185-pound person will have more muscle than a less lean 185-pound person. You follow me? As I go through these numbers, they're really similar. The number of calories burned per minute of all of my activities seems to range from about 10 calories to about 13 calories per minute. So that variance is 3 calories, okay? And again, it doesn't matter what I'm doing. That variance is about 3 calories per minute. Over a 60-minute workout, that's 180 calories of variance per workout. 180 calories is like half a Snickers bar. It's not a lot of calories. Now, I'm not trying to snuff my nose at burning more calories or anything like that, but I'm just saying I think this information is a little disingenuous in what it really means. So again, let's just bear with me and understand that the variance in calories burned while you're doing any activity really isn't very great. Okay? So what is important? How about things like number of calories burned in that activity afterwards? Or what else does that activity do for you that's not illustrated here? Or how about wear and tear on the body? I think those are big factors. Let me give you a couple examples. The number of calories that I burn walking or lifting weights during that moment of that activity is pretty identical. However, lifting weights increases my muscle mass, which is going to increase my metabolic rate, which is going to make me more metabolically active every moment of the day, including while I'm sleeping. Okay, walking, on the other hand, does not do that. I think walking is very, very good, though, as we kind of look through this other list. I think walking is a great fat burning activity, and also it doesn't provide a lot of wear and tear on the body. Okay, so kind of when you look at that wear and tear component, I think walking's pretty good. When you look at that dynamic, I also think that weightlifting is pretty good because of what you get out of it, the increased metabolism. I look at other things, other training modalities like CrossFit or any type of HIIT training where you're doing a variety of activities. I think that's really good because you don't have that wear and tear on that joint. We can kind of switch up those activities, and a lot of days, if I'm doing like a CrossFit activity or some type of HIIT training, I can, and let's say my legs are whooped from the day before, I can alter those exercises to take that emphasis away from those sore or fatigued body parts and do something else. So I think that's a great way to train. The other thing about any type of CrossFit or HIIT training or any metabolic conditioning training is your heart rate is up and then it's down and then it's up and it's down. So with those types of activities, we're not just looking at the calories burned during that moment, but that activity, however long you're doing that activity, burns more calories as the day goes on. Okay? Whereas walking just tends to burn calories while you're walking. Metabolic conditioning, CrossFit, HIIT training tends to burn more calories as the time goes on. The other thing that those HIIT trainings and CrossFit types trainings can really do is help you salvage muscle. Okay, it can help you save muscle. It's not as it tends to be less muscle cannibalizing than other activities. What types of activities are pretty muscle cannibalizing? I would say any fairly long steady state activities, such as long distance running, longer distance running, stationary bikes for extended periods of time. They can just get a lot more wear and tear on the body. Okay, a lot more wear and tear on the body. You're really only burning calories while you're doing that activity. And also, the chances of burning muscle as well as fat are pretty good. That's what a lot of science and myself has found, that those prolonged steady state activities like stationary bikes or running, you're pretty apt to burn as much muscle as you are fat, especially if your diet is not in point. So anyway, what's the point of this? All these exercises are different. You have to find what's right for you. Don't just look at calories burned at that moment. Consider, what else is it doing for me? What's it doing for me later in the day, later in the week, later in the life? Is it burning more calories then? Is it helping me build muscle, which is increasing my metabolic rate? Is it helping me salvage muscle and save muscle? Or is it cannibalizing muscle and putting me at a metabolic disadvantage in the future? Just a bunch of considerations. I hope this helps. If you have any questions, hit me up. Love to hear about your favorite type of exercises and cardiovascular activities. You guys have a great day. We'll see you.